Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So in today's tutorial I'll be making something different. I decided to make a simple gown for myself as a breastfeeding mother, and I thought let me show you guys how I made this beautiful free short gown, and I'll see you at the end of the video. So I'll be starting by folding my fabric into four, as you can see, and the down part have extra allowance for the zipper, and the down one is going to serve as the front part of the style. That's the upper one is for the back, then the down one that has zipper allowance is for the front. And I'm going to mark out the label at the Ankara fabric. I'm using an Ankara fabric. Then I'm going to take my measurements. That's the first line is my armhole line, my shoulder to shoulder measurement. Then I mark 16 inches for my half length, and then 25 inches for my hip. And then I'm going to mark my total measurement, total length, which is 37 plus 2 inches allowance for joining. And I made a straight line for this. So this gown is a short one. If you're a taller person, you can increase your measurement. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking my measurement from the center back, remember, not from the zipper allowance. And I took my shoulder to shoulder measurement, which is 15 divided by 2, which is 7.5 inches plus half inch allowance for joining of the sleeve. Then for the neckline, I went out by 3 inches, then down by 4 inches. If you want it to have a wider neckline, you can increase this as well. Then I make my line and then connected it to have a round neck. So this first neckline that I just marked is for the front. That's why I'm extending the line. And then this other one I'm going to mark now is for the back one. Remember, the upper fabric is for the back, and the one under is for the front. Then I'm going to take my measurements, my bust measurement at my armhole area. My bust measurement is 43 inches divided by 4. And then my my waist measurement 38 divided by 4, and then plus 1.5 inches allowance or 2 inches allowance. Then my hip is 47 inches divided by 4 plus my allowance. That I'm going to mark that line straight down, and because it's a short straight gown, free gown. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect all my lines together. Welcome. If once again, if this is your first time of stopping by, thank you for clicking on this channel, on this video. Thank you for joining us today, that we have a different style, not our usual children's style. And I will please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't subscribed to my channel. To my old subscribers, I say thank you very much for always supporting me and always watching my videos. I really appreciate them. And the line I just marked now is my shoulder slope, and that's all for the front part. And I went ahead to cut it out. And okay, the line that I marked at my armhole is the half inch I'm supposed to add for the joining of the shoulder, for the shoulder. Then for the neckline, I'm going to cut the front one, the back one first, just like I did, and then I'll separate the two fabric, and then I'm going to cut the front one, the front. If you like to see more of adult style, please leave a comment below, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I'll make more of adult style going forward. As I removed the back one, I couldn't see the line again, so that's why I'm trying to remark it to get the where I'm going to cut out. So for the armhole, I wanted it to be a short sleeve. For the sleeve, I wanted it to be a short sleeve. So I'm marking 7 inches plus 2 inches allowance for joining, and I'm going to go ahead and then connect my my lines. So for this part, I'm going to go down by I'm trying to mark out the label on the Ankara fabric, so I'm going to go down by 4 inches, 4 inches, and then I'm going to make a kind of a S curve. Remember, this is a freehand cutting. So if you have your French cuff, you can use that, but as a freehand cuffing, just try to make it look like S, like you're trying to write a mini S or a long S, rather. Then that's all. I'm going to cut it out, then transfer this to my other side of the fabric, and then cut the back one out as well. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the facing, and my fabric, the down fabric, is folded into two, and make sure that the one under it is the allowance there is enough for you to cut out the length of the facing that you want. So what I'm doing now is to trace out my neckline. Instead of remarking it, I just put it there and then trace it out. Then from that line, I'm going to mark 3 inches all the way around for my facing. You can increase it or decrease it depending on your preference. So because this is for the back, I'm going to separate them just like I did, and I will do the same thing for the back. For the front, for the back, the first one is for the front because it has a zip at the front. So I traced out my neckline, then mark 3 inches all the way around, and then I'm going to cut it out. Remember that your folding for the facing you are going to have enough fabric for you to mark out the 3 inches needed. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Then for the joining of the facing, what I did here is to open up my back and bodice, place the front part facing the front. You can use also the back facing the front, and then I'm going to go ahead and stitch this down, and then I'll do the same thing for the for the front, for the back, for the front. So this is it. After stitching this down, what I'm going to do next is to notch it round. And remember, while notching, try as much as possible not to cut through the thread. So I'm going to go ahead and notch the 2 necklines. The next thing I'm going to do is to join the 2 shoulders together, but the joining is going to start from the facing. When you look at it, you see what I'm trying to say. I'll open up the facing up, front facing the front, just like the shoulder facing the front facing the front. Then I'm going to stitch it all the way from the facing to the shoulder, so that when I turn it, it's have a neat finishing. Then for the sleeve, I'm going to turn the edges down inside and then stitch it. So this is it. After stitching the shoulder and the facing down, I'm going to cut a little bit of the bulge there at where they met, and then take it inside and then push it inside. You can use your you can use your what is it called? So you can use your hemming gum, that's what I was trying to remember, or your fabric gum, or you can as well use your needle and thread to tack this facing down, or you can stitch it. Stitching this is going to show at the front, but whatever works for you, just make sure you keep it in place. Then I'm going to go ahead and attach my sleeve to the bodice, and what I did is to cut out a little bit of excess I found at the back, at the front part of it. Then I'm going to hold my sleeve into 2, then I found the center. Then I'm going to notch there and then attach the center to my center shoulder, pin this down, and I'm going to go ahead and then stitch all the way from there to where the sleeve stops, and then I will do the same thing for the other side. Okay, after I was done stitching the armhole, what I'm going to do is to arrange the fabric and then take out my zipper allowance just like I'm pinning it down. Then I'm going to go ahead and stitch the two sides with my seam allowance. Then this is it. After I was done stitching it down, I've I'm done stitching the two side. The next thing I'm going to do is to remove the pins from the zipper allowance and then open it up. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out my pocket. For this pocket, I have about 9 inches or so for the length. Then for the width, I have about 7 inches for this, for the width. I'm going to mark this out. Then the first thing I'm going to do is to fold the upper part of the pocket, just like I showed you guys. Then I'm going to go ahead to my bodice and then mark from my shoulder to 16 inches. The pocket is going to start from 16 inches, but if you want it to go down, you can go down as well, but I prefer my own starting from 16 inches. That's what I marked. Then where I folded is going to start from that 16 inches. I remember while stitching this, you have a zipper allowance there, so you're going to move it in one, not to cover the zipper allowance. Then stitch the two side, stitch the down, and then stitch the other side. Then the upper one is going to be open, like, because you folded the rough edges already, and it's going to be open to serve as the pocket opening, right? So this is it after stitching the two sides out. It's looking beautiful. So the next time I'm going to do is to fold the down part of the gown to cover the rough edges. I'm going to stitch it all the way to where it ended, and then open the gown, place my two zipper allowance together, then stitch it to where I want my zip to stop, and then attach my zip. And that's all for this style. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to my channel. If this video is something that you would like to be seeing more, please leave a comment below and I'll make more of adult styles, and I'll see you in my next video.